In 10 years, you can make your very own Batman movie. Kinda. So we're less than a month into the new year, and not one, not two, but 3 horror projects have been announced featuring Mickey Mouse. One of, if not the, most famous mascot of all time. And I know what you're thinking. Who gives a shit? The internet's weird. But here's the thing. These 2 films and a video game aren't just weird fanfiction. They're fully produced ventures, looking to make a profit. While it's highly unlikely, they can make $1 billion, and the Disney Corporation can't do a thing about it. Why? 2 simple words. Public domain. For those unaware, public domain is defined as all creative work to which no exclusive intellectual property rights apply. This can mean work that was released to the public by its author, or cases where the copyright expired. And it's this second option that we're going to talk about. So, when do copyrights expire? Well, there's 2 answers. When the law was first created back in 1790, it protected the IP for 14 years. But in the centuries since then, there's been several extensions. First to 28 years, then to 56 years, and finally to the current term of 95 years. But that rule of thumb only applies to works created before January 1st, 1978. For everything created after that date, the copyright exists for the life of the creator plus 70 years. So let's go back to Mickey Mouse. If you wanted to make a weird, low-budget horror movie about Fantasia, where Mickey wears a star-spangled wizard hat and makes zombie broomsticks, you can't. At least not yet. Copyright is specific to the work itself. Those previously mentioned horror projects, those are based on Steamboat Willie, the very first cartoon to feature Mickey back in 1928. In it, the famous mouse, who's only named in the title card, steers a tugboat, gets roasted by a parrot, and tortures animals to make music. That's why Stephen Lamort, who recently directed The Mean One, a horror movie based on The Grinch, has his version of Mickey terrorizing passengers on a ferry. And the video game, Infestation 88, closely resembles the old black and white version of the character. Now Fantasia, while featuring Mickey Mouse, was released on November 13th, 1940. So if you want to adapt Mickey as a sorcerer's apprentice, and or dancing hippos, you have to wait 12 more years. Aw. Another thing you need to know is that copyrights are valid until the end of the calendar year in which they expire. So, that fucked up Fantasia slasher, you won't be able to release it on Thanksgiving 2035, despite the fact that it technically will have been over 95 years by then. Instead, that acid trip of a movie will enter public domain on January 1st, 2036. At the start of the video, I said you'd be able to make your own Batman movie in a decade. And that's true. Batman debuted in Detective Comics number 27 in 1939, which means you can release a Batman film for profit in 2035. However, if you want him to team up with Robin or fight the Joker, you have to wait until 2036, because they were created in 1940. Superman and Lois become available in 2034, but you can't write Kryptonite into your story until 2039, because his one weakness was introduced on a radio show in 1943. For that matter, he didn't really start flying until the 40s, so have fun making your flightless Man of Steel movie. Also, be careful how you use the words Man of Steel or the S symbol, because those fall under trademark, which is separate from copyright law. You see what I'm getting at. But even with those stipulations, public domain is a game changer. Let's not forget the countless fan films online. With public domain, those shorts won't just be labors of love. Amateur filmmakers can use recognizable IP and compete with studios like Warner Brothers. All they need is hundreds of millions of dollars. If you like this video, please like and subscribe.